Welcome back to Nicool's Notions. This week we watched the movie Memento. Continuing on with our 501 must-see movies, we watched our first mystery/thriller movie. So this is Memento. And later on this week, we also watched our first Western. So this is a week of new categories. When I first read about this movie, I was a little bit afraid that I wasn't going to be able to follow along. For anyone who doesn't know, this film is in reverse chronological order. So it starts with the end and then continues on. So basically, you have to pay attention the whole time. You can't leave the movie for a couple of minutes because then you won't know what's going on. There's so many twists and turns. You think you know what's going on, you think you know what's happening, and then it turns out you don't know what's happening. And it's really well shot. It's really the planning that must have gone in to all of these scenes, to the script writing, to the cinematography, to the film editing. This is really impressive. I was super impressed by this movie. I don't even know that I ever heard of this movie before this book. It came out in the year 2000, so I guess I was a late teenager at that point. I don't remember ever hearing about this movie, but it was really great. I was really happy that I watched it. So as per usual, I'm going to read a little bit about what the 501 Must-See Movies book says about this film. So it was directed by Christopher Nolan in the year 2000, and the main character is played by Guy Pearce. It also stars Carrie-Anne Moss, Joe Pantoliano, Mark Boone Jr., and Russ Vega. Now, I don't know many of these actors, but I think Guy Pearce was married to someone famous. I don't know. In a cinematic world full of remakes, reimaginings, and all-out copies, it is rare to find a movie as original and thought-provoking as Memento. Guy Pearce plays Leonard Shelby, a man searching for the man who raped and murdered his wife. Shelby has a problem, however. Since his wife's death, he suffers from a rare disorder that means he cannot retain new memories. As a result, he must make copious notes, take photos of people he meets, and even tattoo his body with hints in order to keep track of the ongoing investigation. Christopher Nolan lays out what he has in store for us from the opening shot, when we see a Polaroid fading, fully developed and completely blank. Nolan plunges the viewer into Shelby's shoes with a neat trick. While each scene is playing chronologically, they are ordered in reverse. Hence, the film starts at the story's conclusion and fills in the gaps as it progresses to the beginning. This makes watching the film a confusing experience, and there's no neat payoff after the climax. All the characters seem to have some level of duplicity, and it is unclear who can be trusted. Shelby himself manipulates his own memories through the notes he makes. To write off the film as unfathomable, however, is to underestimate the intelligence and inventiveness. Solid performances by the cast, as well as taut and stylish direction, bring out the most from the rightly acclaimed screenplay. So as the book mentioned, Leonard, or Lenny, as he hates being called, has a lot of tattoos of notes. He has Polaroids of the other characters, notes he's made about the characters, and all I kept thinking the whole time was, how long did he have to sit in that makeup chair to get all those tattoos on? I tried looking it up to see if that was a fun fact that I could find, and unfortunately I couldn't. But I do know whatever makeup artist did all those tattoos over and over every day did a great job. But they only had to do it for 25 days because shooting only lasted 25 days on this movie. Another thing I learned is that neuroscientists have commended the film for its realistic depiction of memory loss disorders. For anyone that was as confused as me, there is also a YouTube video explaining Memento that I've linked in my comment. It was a great movie. It actually was a lot easier to follow than I thought it was going to be. I did truly enjoy the movie, but having things in reverse chronological order does make it a little bit difficult. It was hard to remember all the tiny details from things that had happened earlier in the movie, which actually happened later in the story. I definitely need to watch it a second time, and it was so good that I am going to watch it a second time. Have you seen this movie? Have you heard of this movie? What is your favorite part? I do believe the acting was really great in this movie. If you want to know more about the 501 Must-See Movies, please like my video, subscribe to my channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos coming out. The number one question I have now is what happens now that Teddy's dead? So if you've watched the movie and you know what happens, let me know what your theories are. What does Leonard do now? How does he, what is his new life mission? What is it going to look like? Give me your theories in the comment section.